We've all heard the news by now then that Tom Aspinall has signed up to Matchroom Boxing's talent agency under the auspices of Eddie Hearn. We've seen the big smiling selfie of Eddie Hearn with Big Tom, who is the UFC heavyweight champion. Cue all the outpouring of emotion regarding Eddie getting one over on Dana White. But the reality of it is that is just not the case. Tom Aspinall has never had a manager as far as we were aware. It was always his dad. He's never really been under an agency. And Eddie Hearn has met with Tom, and I think he said something along the lines of, this guy was a broken man, he was defeated, and he's turned around to him and said, no, you are the guy, you can do this, you've got a future. And he's gone, right, come and join my talent agency. Now, what better way to launch a brand than with a big name superstar? Zuffa Boxing did it with Conor Benn, and Eddie Hearn's done it with Tom Aspinall. Here's the thing though, I don't think Tom Aspinall is ever going to fight at anywhere near the level he fought at. Conor Benn, of course, is going to go up and up and up until he gets beat again. But that could be for world titles. Tom Aspinall had his eyes literally gouged out to the point where when I watched that live, I said, his eyes are gone, he's never going to see again, and the guy that did it needs to go to prison for GBH. It was my genuine reaction at the time. The fact that there seems to be no punishment for his opponent, or very little that I'm seeing, and the fact that Tom is essentially being paraded as he's putting it on and he's really milking it, when the guy has had to have surgery after surgery after surgery on his eyes, and he may never get his vision back fully, let alone fight in the UFC, and let alone defend his UFC heavyweight title, because we know in the UFC that they generally pitch the best versus the best where they can. They're not going to put Tom Aspinall in with an amateur pro who's got 1-0 on his record for a little knockover like they do in boxing sometimes. When Anthony Joshua made his return, he was supposed to be fighting somebody that was in Jake Paul's camp, and then they got offered the opportunity to fight Jake Paul, which made total sense, financially anyway. So is the plan for Tom Aspinall to walk away from the UFC and become a crossover boxer, or become a fully fledged heavyweight boxer? You know, he appears to have the skills to do it, and Molly McCann's done it, and there's been other examples where fighters have crossed over from MMA. Darren Till's another example. Yes, he's fighting misfits, but he is an example of somebody that has crossed over from UFC into boxing. Now, is there a future for Tom Aspinall in boxing? Boxers typically get paid better than UFC fighters. Now, if Tom Aspinall can get his vision back to anywhere near able to fight, then maybe Eddie Hearn will say, do you know what, Tom? Let's have a dabble in boxing. But personally, I just don't think Tom Aspinall is ever going to get back to the level where he can fight in the UFC. I hope he does, because I absolutely love the guy. But personally, I just think, given an injury as severe and serious as that, and the problems that he's had with all the surgeries one after the other, I think it's unlikely.